Now, John Durkin, you're doing a bit of training
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
in the Leisure Centre in Westport, yeah?
Soccer training on Tuesday night.
You used to play rugby for Westport one time.
Yeah, I've enjoyed my rugby with Westport. I think I've started playing with Westport from 1974. Played with Westport then.
That's the year it started,
That's
is
the
it?
year I started, yes.
And what age group were you in then?
I was with the one team that time, played junior senior. So my first game was against Ballinrobe. I remember Martin Jennings was my opposition. Martin played with Connacht at the time. I think he was being very nice to me that day because he knew my father. And so that was my first.
How did you get involved in it in the beginning?
Just people that I suppose I was big, I was heavy, and people said, "Why don't you try the rugby?" They probably knew I was no good at Gaelic. So I remember I rang Teddy Welsh, and I was giving his name, and I rang Teddy, and Teddy said, "Come in that evening." I think this was a Tuesday evening. They were going to Ballinrobe, playing a friendly game against Ballinrobe.
Okay.
So it was straight into the front row.
And how long did you stay with Westport for then?
I played with Westport for a few years, 74 to I think 77, and I went away to Dublin then. I was trained to be chef, and I came back in 81. I think I played with Westport from 81, I think, to about 87, and then I went to join Corinthians in Galway, and I played with Corinthians for 4 years.
Did you win anything with Westport?
Did I win anything with Westport? No, I didn't.
And who did you play with in Westport at that time?
Oh, the greats.
Who was the captain?
God, I can't even remember who was the captain at the time. But the Christy Cawley was the hooker, and Mark O'Malley from Tuamacady originally. Fabulous prop, taught me a lot. And of course, Nick Buck and Kevin Glenn in the second row. Yourself, Ollie, Dr. Ollie, and Joe McGovern, and Stephen Braheny in the back row, and Michael Dibble and Jackie Morris, scrum half, out half, John Cox in the centre, and
John Dever, is it?
John Jiver, and John Parsons, and Tom Nathan, and the great Christy Loftus full back.
And the team didn't change that much over the 3 years, no?
Not much, no. Not much. But learned a lot of it, you know, and learned the social aspect of rugby as well, you know. But I enjoyed my time with Westport.
And where did you play the matches?
Played the matches. First matches we played were actually down in the lawn of Westport House. And we changed. We had 2 rooms, or the club had 2 rooms in Hotel Westport.
Right.
And we changed there and go out and play there, and we had the training sessions on at the side. There was a lawn at the side of Hotel Westport, and that's what we trained on with a scrummaging machine there. We trained there on Tuesday and Thursday. Usually we ended up on Tuesday night in the Woods Hotel afterwards. There was a Tuesday night scene there or whatever. It was part and parcel of it, because at that time on Tuesday night the rugby club had their meetings on a Tuesday night.
And then you went to Corinthians?
I went to Corinthians then, yeah.
In 77, was it?
No, in 87.
87. And how did you get into Corinthians? Did somebody contact you, or how did it happen?
Yeah, and the first cousin of mine that was involved with Corinthians, and I was asked, like, whatever, and so Johnny McCormick from Johnny from Westport as well. Johnny came up with me, and we travelled together.
And Johnny played for them as well, he did?
Johnny played, yeah, as well.
And what position did you play there?
I started off playing loose head, and then I went tight head.
Were you always the prop?
Always the prop.
Always the prop, yeah. And how did you do with Corinthians?
Well, I enjoyed it. Like, you know, the competition was tough. You know, naturally.
To senior?
Sorry?
Senior rugby, yeah?
Senior rugby.
Senior rugby, yeah. Did you win any trophies with them?
I did. I won, I think, 2 leagues or 3 leagues and 2 cups. And
how long did you play with them for?
For 4 years. 4 years. I have to say, enjoyed it. Learned a lot, and then you had the chance to play against always better opposition, because you're playing in Leinster and you're playing in Munster and you're playing in Ulster and you're playing the senior side, so you came up against fellas who were playing for the senior interprovincials and sometimes the internationals, and so it was an experience.
Yeah. So you played against all the big clubs, really?
Yeah. Played against the Landjowns and Dolphin, all those.
Were you in the All-Ireland League? Was it up that time?
No.
It hadn't started yet?
It hadn't started at that time.
Or professionalism hasn't started?
No.
Did you get paid?
I'll be straight with you. You get £600-700 at the time for travelling.
Travelling expenses.
It was fabulous to get it. It was, you could. For me, it was an honour to play with them, and I enjoyed it. But to get that as a bonus, then there was.
But you were travelling from Westport,
Lewisburg,
twice a week.
Yeah, Johnny and I would share the car.
So it was hard going.
But if you like something enough,
it makes no difference.
Makes no difference. Makes no difference.
And was the training
tough?
How often did you do
it? Twice a week.
Twice a week.
But when you were travelling that distance, we'd say to train, so you were travelling 120 miles round trip. You trained twice there, but you trained 3 times yourself. You had to, because the competition was there for places. And I took it on myself. Well, I'm not travelling from Lewisburg to Galway to play junior rugby. I have to get on that senior side, so I had to train Havre.
So you were the regular prop there for the few years. Who else did you play with down there that we might know of?
The fabulous Noel Mangan, Fly Mangan they called him, and Henry O'Toole. At the time there was 9 of them on the Connacht senior side. Vincent O'Flynn, who played on the wing, and Henry O'Toole played full back for Connacht, and Pat McGrath was a prop for Connacht as well. So it's the competition was there.
And did you finish your career with Corinthians, or did you?
I played. I finished with Corinthians, and because I got injured, and I came back. I played 2 friendly games after Westport.
But and then finished up altogether.
Then finished up altogether. Finished up in '92, I think.
Do you like rugby?
I loved it.
What did you like about it?
I loved well, you should know, like we played together. I think I was only God, you were teaching me, because I was only. I think I was 17 when I was playing senior, and you were 2 or 3 years older than me at that stage. And I remember, I often said it before, you trained the team one year down. After we moved out of the grounds of Westport House, we moved down to another part of Westport House that had the
bog field.
The bog field. And you took the training. You did the training there one year, and there was a hill up at the side of it, and you used to make a sprint up there, and. That was, I have to say, it was about the toughest training ever we done. Tuesday, Thursday night, it didn't matter. So,
do you good?
You're credited with that.
And what's the difference between rugby then and the rugby today, do you think?
Oh, God, they're way more powerful people now. They're faster people now. I probably wouldn't, if I were young enough to play a game now, someone would have to teach me the rules of it, because I suppose at the time I played with, say, prop and stand either number 1 or number 3 in. It was a technique to the jumper to give him that lift up, to actually bind him, but to give him that lift as you bind it with him. Now it's, here you go, we lift you as high. It's like, these, the wingers now and the full back and the centre, they're built like powers, they're built like props now. They're the competition, but of course it's professional now.
And the props run like wingers.
Totally. And I think it's fabulous that you're getting paid to play a sport that you love, and that's your week's work. My God, like I'm sorry, I'm not 40 years old. Do
you think will we do well in the World Cup this year?
I think we will, yeah. I think we will. I think that the confidence has grown. We're a match, I think, for most sides now. Most sides.
Who were your heroes in rugby in your time?
God, I suppose going back in my time,
or even now.
Phil R would be the because you always Graham Price, the Welsh title. You always watch the guy that you played in their position, and you always watched him. And I have to say that the biggest lesson ever I got was when I played with Corinthians, and we played against Shannon. Shannon Shannon were forced to be rector at the time, and we played a friendly game against them. It was after Christmas, and I remember Tomas Healy was the prop, my opposition, and always the first scrum you go in nice and easy to feel your opposition, but I went in that day and nice and easy as I thought. My God, the push came. I was put up in the air. My neck was nearly broke. But I remember the coach, Pat Constantine, who was the coach for Corinthians at the time, he said to me after, he said, John, he said, after the game, he said, you learned as much today in the first 2 minutes of that game as if I was preaching to you for the next 5 years, he said. And after that, any scrum you go into, you go in solid, hard, whatever.
Were you beaten in scrums many times?
Oh yeah, you'd be always beaten.
Well, you wouldn't be always beaten.
Well, you would. No, but the day you take it on yourself that you say, I'm never going to beat. Of course you'll be beat because but like if you are beaten today, you will learn from it, and that's the whole thing. And that was the beautiful thing about playing against the opposition and respecting them. But respecting them, you weren't going to tell them, well, I respect you. Respecting them because you knew a fellow would say that I played senior at provincial or played for the province or whatever. I remember playing against Dave Fitzgerald. He was the tie shed for Ireland at the time, and no messing like. But the powerful like that surge that come, you learn so much from it. And then you talk to him after and say, look, what do you do? What did you think I was doing wrong there? Maybe, and every game you played was a learning day.
And you haven't left the gym yet. You still go to the gym.
No, I suppose how would I put it? For me to say I like training would be an understatement. I love training. I train 3 times a week. I happen to be lucky enough that I have a great friend, Pat O'Donnell, and Pat and I would be training together for the last, I'd say, 12 years. And we religiously train twice a week, all year round. I try and get in a 3rd time, or even a 4th time if it was possible. It's great for this little small little brain here to get into the gym, sweat it out. Tonight now I just have to come in from soccer training, and my God, it's
You're a happy man.
It's great to be fit to do it.
Thank you. Well done.